The world crawls with leeches who thrive through suggestion, implication, and quiet coercion. And these creatures walk freely because decent people carry a burden of conscience that becomes a weapon turned against them. Energy, time, and willpower serve as currency, and many will siphon that currency through subtle means while presenting themselves as harmless, wounded, or deserving. Another form appears as the perpetual victim, the individual who exists in a constant state of hardship, whose every stance drips with the quiet suffering, whose presence alone demands sympathy without ever issuing a direct request. And through this performance they compel others into action. Their strength lies in silence, in implication, in heavy pause, that invites you to step forward and offer yourself as tribute. You feel the pull because conscience whispers that compassion defines virtue. Yet that whisper becomes a chain. This creature feeds through pity and grows stronger each time someone steps forward to rescue them from a situation they maintain through passivity. Another breed emerges through false humility, cloaked in phrases that suggest reluctance, yet engineered to provoke insistence. "I could never ask such a thing," becomes a hook cast into the mind of the conscientious, and the moment that the hook sinks in, the victim rushes forward to prove generosity. This form thrives through reverse suggestion, never demanding, always receiving, always ensuring that the burden appears self-imposed by the one being drained. Through this method, obligation becomes self-generated, and resistance feels like failure of character. There exists also the incompetent manipulator, the one who stumbles, forgets, fails, and falters in ways that seem accidental, yet always in directions that shift responsibility onto others. Tasks fall into your hands because their inability becomes your problem, and your competence becomes their tool. Over time you carry their weight, while they continue unburdened, presenting weakness as innocence, while benefiting from the strength of others. Then comes the transactional deceiver, who offers gifts, favors, or material tokens, weaving a thread of obligation with every offering. Each gesture carries an invisible contract, one that demands repayment in forms far greater than the original exchange. Gratitude becomes leverage, and the moment you accept, you enter a silent agreement that binds you through expectation. These individuals do give, yet their giving serves as investment, a calculated move designed to secure influence and future control. Groups mirror this behavior well, appearing through institutions, causes, and organized appeals where representatives specialize in extracting compliance through guilt, urgency, and moral pressure. They present themselves as noble, righteous, and essential, positioning refusal as moral failure and acceptance as proof of virtue. Through repetition and emotional appeal, they erode resistance until participation feels inevitable. All these forms share a single principle. They thrive through your sense of duty, your desire to be fair, your reluctance to appear selfish. They rely on your internal voice more than their external actions. That voice becomes the battlefield. The solution requires a shift that feels unnatural at first, because it demands severing the reflex response, the instinct to explain, the urge to justify. The most powerful response comes through calculated indifference, through deliberate ignorance of their cues, their hints, their careful crafted signals. When the victim performer sighs, you allow silence to follow. When the humble manipulator implies, you accept their word at face value and move forward without intervention. When the incompetence appears, you leave the responsibility where it belongs. When gifts arrive, you do not accept and carry on without acknowledgement of the exchange itself. Ignorance in this sense becomes strategy, a conscious refusal to engage with manipulation, a rejection of the invisible contract they attempt to impose. You remove the fuel that sustains them. You strip away the reaction they seek. Without your response, their methods collapse. Expect resistance when their influence fades. Because exposure breeds desperation, the victim becomes wounded beyond measure, the humble turns resentful, the incompetent grows frustrated, the giver reveals expectations, the true nature surfaces when control slips away, and this revelation confirms a reality that existed all along. Through this approach, you reclaim authority over your own time and energy. You define your obligations through choice rather than pressure. You direct your effort towards those who reciprocate, those who engage in balanced exchange, those who respect autonomy rather than exploit conscience. This path depends on strength because it rejects the illusion that self-sacrifice defines virtue. It replaces the illusion with clarity, with control, with deliberate action. The world contains those who take and those who build, and through awareness and indifference towards manipulation, you step away from becoming a source of nourishment for parasites, and instead stand as something far more formidable, an individual who chooses where power flows and where it ends. You have been listening to the voice of Anton Samael, and I'd like to encourage you to leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you found value in this, please like and subscribe, and hail Satan.